Good morning, everybody. I'm Darcy Scott Martin from TrueMajority.org, here with John Isaacs from Council for Livable World. Glad to have you join us at the Anti-War Room. It's our last show of the season. We've wrapped up Congress, and we're here to talk a little bit about what went on with the omnibus. The Senate still has a bit more work to do, but the House has gone home. And so we just wanted to get started talking to everybody about what went on this year with Iraq legislation, as well as what we would like to see happen in the new year. Hopes, wishes, all that good stuff. We had an omnibus bill that started out in the House and was only including funding for Afghanistan and passed and then moved on to the Senate, where
there was a kind of kabuki dance. First of all, the omnibus appropriations was a collection of 11 individual appropriations bills lumped together that Congress passed as it was leaving town. On Tuesday, the Senate considered that bill and had 3 more votes on Iraq, all of them disaster for us. Senator Feingold tried to stop the war, bring most of the troops home by May 2008. He failed. Senator Levin of Michigan, Senator Reid of Rhode Island had a non-binding provision. That also failed. And then Senator Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader, had an amendment to add $70 billion for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, unrestricted, no requirement to bring troops home, no mandates of any sort, and that passed the Senate easily and then went back over to the House of Representatives yesterday.
Yes, where 141 Democrats did vote, actually 141, one was a Republican, voted to not have that omnibus pass. It passed anyway. So basically, although the number is less than what the president requested, it is in fact a blank check of funding for Iraq and Afghanistan, which will go on to fund well into the spring of 2008. So that was not necessarily the victory that we'd hoped for. There were some other victories on the horizon throughout the year, however, that, John, you wanted to mention?
Just briefly, while the Iraq series of votes, and there are probably close to 50 votes in the Congress on that issue, we failed on that issue, but some quieter issues on nuclear weapons, for example, there are a whole series of triumphs, including Congress rejected in that last bill any funds for the so-called reliable replacement warhead, a new generation of nuclear weapons, and there are other victories. But again, Iraq was not the success we hoped for. There's one other area of progress, and that was on Iran, and that came not from Congress per se, but the national intelligence estimate, the predictions from our intelligence community came to the conclusion that Iran, in fact, does not have a nuclear weapons program anymore, that they suspended the program in 2003 and have not restarted it. So where there was a lot of momentum earlier this year, it appeared for military confrontation with Iran, both in Congress and in the White House, a lot of the energy for confrontation seems to have drained away, and perhaps in the new year we'll have a renewed attempt for some negotiations.
So although there were a number of things that got bigger headlines that were not such strong victories, like the president's ability to have S-chip veto not overridden, there were some highlights in the year, and that includes a wide swath of retirements in the House, mostly Republicans. A few Democrats are also either running for higher office. One has just recently passed, and one is just legitimately retiring. But the large majority is Republicans retiring, many from swing districts. So there's going to be some exciting races there. Democrats really in the House should expect to pick up some victories. And next year's focus, although we won't want to give up on the legislative angle, will really have a lot more to do with politics.
Yeah, we're obviously this is the holiday season, and best wishes for everyone. But next year, the real focus will be on the elections. The 2006 elections were fought in major part over the Iraq war issue. Democrats made major gains. Those gains did not translate into triumphs in Congress in 2007. But we have these new elections, and we have to make sure that Iraq is high on the radar screen as an election issue, and that in November 2008 there are more victories for those who oppose the war, and those who have been supporting the war go down to defeat.
With that issue being one of the reasons that they do lose, because that's the only way we'll continue to move forward. Thank you, everybody. We hope you had a pretty good 2007, and in 2008 we'll be back to talk a lot more about politics.